Welcome back. This is part 2 of the series on the Mackie ThumpSub Go. So we're going to start off by comparing it to the benchmark AC sub that I've used all these years. And keep in mind, we're talking about portable PA, so I'm not talking about very large subs. So this is the Bose Sub1, and it is the lightest subwoofer that I use, 36 pounds. AC only, keep that in mind. That's what we're comparing today. And if you didn't see part 1, you might want to go back and see it, but I did make a mistake. I said it was $1,100. It's actually $1,050. It was $900, and then they jumped up the price. But that's it. That's where we are right now, $1,050, AC only sub. So we're going to show you the specs. Well, actually not the specs. We're just going to eyeball it and show you what it looks like compared to the new Mackie ThumpSub Go. Now there is another AC sub that I highly recommend for portable PA. That's the EV-ELX 12-SP. A little more powerful than this, a little bigger, a little heavier. But it's still at 900, so that's a sub you should definitely be looking for if you don't need internal battery. Plus, it has an app, which the Bose does not have, and the new Mackie doesn't have. That is one of my criticisms of the new Mackie. I really wish it had an app to control the gain from a distance. It does not. The EV sub does. So here's the star of the show, the Mackie ThumpSub Go that just came out very recently, hot item. I don't work for Mackie, I don't work for Bose, just doing private YouTube videos in comparing portable PA. So again, I don't want to go too heavy because the tops I'm talking about, the largest I'm using is a 12-inch top. So obviously I don't need an 18-inch sub. I do have a sub 2, and I found that sub kind of drowns out most of my portable PA tops, like my eVerse 8 or Bose S1 Pro. Plus, I have to turn it down to like 11. So there's unless I'm playing live kick drum or outdoors, there's no reason to go the sub 2. So I'm not going to be getting a second Mackie, I don't think, because that's not really my application. If I need 2 Mackies, then I'll just bring my sub 2 with an external battery source. Okay, so getting back to this review, as you can see, the size is pretty much equal. And I'll just say it right off the bat. I think Mackie copied the Sub 1. It's almost exactly the same size and look, everything. So starting off with height, the Mackie is just slightly taller. There's your emblems. The Bose emblem turns. When you put it horizontal, you can turn the emblem, and so does the Mackie. So they really did copy everything. Here's your top view. The Mackie is slightly longer, a couple of inches. But again, as far as getting into your vehicle or whatever you're carrying, I really don't think one is going to be a disadvantage over the other. So they're very, very close. Let me show you what they look like in the horizontal position. So when you want to run your top on a speaker pole, on a sub pole, but you don't want to use a speaker stand, this is the way to go. You lay your sub down, the horizontal position, and you have your M20 thread. The M20 thread does look a little different on each unit, so they're not, I guess they're not exactly using the same components, but very, very similar. Now, one of the disadvantages, both of them have the same disadvantage, and that is the sub pole attachment is not on the top when you play in the vertical position. I was hoping that the new Mackie would have that, because that was one of the criticisms of the Sub 1, but they copied Bose and they left that out. Bose has something the Mackie doesn't have. And this is looking at the bottom of the sub. This recessed area, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but I use it as a grab handle. So it's kind of nice, and the Mackie doesn't have that. It's just easier to carry. So here's what they look like stacked. I have not tried this. It's something I want to do in the future. Play them together and see if they gel. The recommendation is to use the same brand anytime you double up subs, but that's one of the tests I'm planning on doing. When you do double up subs and stack them or put them side by side, touching, you gain about 3 dB of output. Okay, but it's kind of defeating the purpose because one is battery powered. So if I brought the Sub1, I would have to bring my external battery source. So there, I'm back to square one. I might as well just bring my Sub2 if I have to bring an external battery source and I want this kind of power. Here's a view from the top. So I see plenty of real estate on both subs for having that M20 sub pole connector, but both of them did not put it. That's a little disappointing for the new Mackie. I mentioned in part 1 that I was very pleased with the construction material and the build quality of the Mackie. I wasn't expecting it, and people have mentioned online that they're waiting for the Everse sub or Yamaha sub or QSC battery powered sub because in their eyes Mackie has always been a cheaper line, and I kind of agree. The Thump Go is kind of plasticky and cheaper looking in build quality than your S1 Pro or your Everse 8. But this Mackie sub is right there, same quality. I know Bose uses wood cabinet, and let's hear the Mackie. Sounds like the same, and it has a nice texture, really high quality, and the plastics are very similar. I don't think it's going to be easy to damage those plastics. They're very durable. So again, built like a tank, both of them. Getting back to build quality, I was watching someone else's YouTube video on the new Mackie, and they said the grill wasn't as robust as they had hoped. So it's something I would have never even thought about looking at it. A grill is a grill as long as it's protecting the speaker. So sure enough, I went to my Sub1, let's do it together, and I tested it, and I pressed it, and it's rock solid. That is really tough. And then I go to the Mackie, and it has a little play. Maybe, I don't know how they would measure it in maybe a couple of microns or centimeters, but yeah. Okay, something I would have never tested, but there you go. I wouldn't my buying decision wouldn't be about that. That's for sure. Turning the subs around, very similar inputs, 2 inputs, 2 outs, XLR, multi-jacks, 1/4 inch or XLR. And so one of the differences I mentioned on my first video was here on the Bose Sub1, they have a very nice soft touch power switch. You touch it once and it goes on immediately, not like the JBL EI1 Pro where you have to hold it. And the Mackie is old school rocker switch. I kind of like the rocker switch better. And again, from the first video I said, I'm thinking if there is any reliability issue, I think a soft touch electronic control would go quicker than a heavy duty rocker switch. Very personal preference, and again, nothing I would depend my buying decision on. Also, I mentioned I like the fact that on the Bose Sub1, it has these hash marks. There's your 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and they even have in between. So I like that for repeatability. The Mackie has your 12 noon hash mark, but then they don't have anything. So you kind of just eyeball it. So that's a negative or something I like better about the Bose. Of course, the Mackie is Bluetooth. It has an internal battery where the other doesn't. The Sub1 is made to be hooked up to the Pro 32, which I have. It has a special cable, but I don't want to go too much into that. And that's it. The Sub1 does not have a front power indicator. The Mackie does. Matter of fact, it has 2 of them. I don't know why it has 2. but you can turn that off. You can turn off your indicator. They both have clip lights, and yeah, that's about it from the back view. Couple of specs, and then we'll wrap this up. An important spec is how low a subwoofer plays. 40 Hz on the bottom end is very common for a live PA sub, and that's exactly the performance the Bose spec lists at 40 Hz. And the Mackie is right there at 39, even a little, I don't think you can hear it probably, but 39 Hz. So there, that spec is, let's just call it equal as far as low-end performance, where your Bose Sub2, it goes down to 37. So when I play a live kick drum, that's when I take out the Bose Sub2, because it has a more realistic kick drum reproduction. So the biggest difference of these two subs is the weight. Even though the size is very, very minimal, there is a weight difference. The Bose Sub1 is 36 pounds. Actually, it's 35.5, and I'm rounding it up, so let's call it 36. And the Mackie is 41.7, so let's call it 42. So it's 6 pounds difference, and I'm gonna tell you that it's noticeable. It's 42 is heavier, obviously 6 pounds, but yeah, so it's a little heavier, a little bulkier than the Bose Sub1. So the Bose Sub1 is going to remain my featherweight champion of the portable PA world. But obviously, if you start having to carry that 18-pound external battery source that I run it with, and the reason I run it with something that heavy is because I tried running it with a smaller unit and it shut down on me. Subwoofers need a lot of power. So yeah, the one I use is 600 watts. I tried 400 watts and it shut down. So I don't play games, especially in a live situation. I always want more power than I think I might need. So I don't have to worry about that with the Mackie. The battery is built in. So there's your biggest difference, and the weight. There is a slight difference in max volume. I haven't tested that yet. The spec on the Bose Sub1 is 125 dB, and the Mackie is 123. So 2 dB, I believe it is going to be audible, because when you, like I said, when you double up subs, you gain at least 3 dB gain. I've read as much as 6 dB gain, so I'm not sure. Maybe someone could tell me the actual number. Is it when you match up two subs, do you get 3 dB or 6? I'm not sure. I've seen different things. But anyway, 2 dB gain, I think it's going to be audible. But, you know, you want to match up your sub with your top. So, for example, my Bose Pro S1 Pro Plus maxes out at 109, so 123 is plenty of headroom. My Everse 8 is 121 dB max, so this 123 it's a perfect match. The only portable PA speaker that I had a question about is my Everse 12, which is 126 dB, and the Mackie is 123. So in my sound testing, we'll see if that's a mismatch or yeah, we'll see if that's a factor. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not pushing these speakers to max volume. If I need those kind of dBs, then I really, to tell you the truth, I don't need battery power. I have QSC speakers that go over 130 dB, and I have larger subs, which I don't like to carry because they're so heavy. So yeah, it really depends on your situation. But in my case, unless you're playing outdoors in an area with no wall sound reinforcement, I'm not going to be pushing these things to the max. Matter of fact, I usually play the Sub1 at 1 o'clock. I don't usually go past 1 or 2 o'clock the most. Okay, so there's our comparison. Like I said, there is a price difference, considerable price difference. The Sub1 is $1,050, and the Mackie, to me, is a great bargain at $600. Okay, I haven't really done much sound testing yet because I'm still breaking in the new sub. You don't want to be pushing it when it's new. So that's going to be the next couple of videos. But I'll give you a little heads up. What I've heard from the Mackie is impressive. I wasn't expecting this kind of performance for this price. I think it's head and shoulders right there with the Bose Sub1. What I've heard so far, the only difference is probably is going to be that max headroom. Okay, this is Bill. Stay tuned for part 3, where I'm going to start doing some sound testing and put some tops above these speakers. I got quite a few that we're going to try out. This is Bill. Hope you enjoyed.